Hi.
I don't know if I'm supposed to connect now.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. I can see you wearing this beautiful tangerine red
It's
fluffy dress.
it's a little bit, yeah, it's a mixture of tangerine and red, um, but I feel like it looks a little bit more vibrant on screen than it does in person.
Yes. Wow, I can't believe I'm finally talking to you right now. I've been wanting to have an interview with you since your crowning moment. So,
Uh-huh, thank you. I actually read like the promo that you did, and let me tell you, it was an honor and quite flattering. So I'm like, oh my goodness.
oh, no, you deserve it for all the hard work and excellence that you have been showing to your countrymen and the universe
Thank
at
you,
the
thank
same
you.
time in how you have been forging your candidacy in your upcoming pageant. So, you know, there's just so much goodwill and support because when you were crowned Miss Universe Puerto Rico and I read your bio, I was really stunned at your credentials, at your bio. Wow, you are such an accomplished woman. Yeah. So how
Thank
have you
you.
been? 3 months
I'm
since your crowning moment.
good. I've been really good. It's definitely has been quite a hectic couple of months, especially now that we're nearing Miss Universe. There's only what, a little bit more than a month. And
Yeah.
so we're in like final preparation stages, but it's really exciting. I know that a lot of amazing things are coming. I have an incredible team, and I'm just really looking forward to it. Like all of this, the work and preparation is going to pay off, I know, in the long run.
How excited are you for the upcoming pageant?
I am incredibly excited. I am a little bit of everything. It's like excitement, nervous, anxious, but just feeling blessed at the moment because I can say that I'm going to be in Miss Universe, which is something that I've always wanted to do, something that I've dreamt about for a really long time. And now I get the chance to. So I'm counting down. I'm counting down the days for sure.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So have you finalized everything in terms of preparation, in terms of what the type of wardrobe or even how you will be styled in the most crucial aspects of the competition?
Yes. So we are working with everything. We are in the final stages. So I think that what we're doing, which I'm really excited for, is that we're kind of exploring and experimenting with a lot of things. So you're definitely going to see me perhaps in a different light than you might have during my candidacy and my reign here, because we're in an international level. So we want to appease kind of like everyone. And so I'm really excited for that experimental stage that we're going to have.
I wonder, does it get any easier or harder? Because you've been doing this, right? You've been competing in pageants for quite some time now. So I wonder, now that you're looking ahead of Miss Universe, in terms of preparation, does it get any easier or harder? Do you know what to do? Is it like automatic auto mode? Okay, I'm Ashley Carino. I know what to do. I have all my designers at my disposal, and even in the other aspects that I need to do.
Well, I think it's funny because a lot of people think that I've been doing pageantry or pageants for a really long time, and I've only been doing it for 1 year. So last year was my very first pageant, which was in Miss Florida, USA. And then I went on to the national pageant, Miss USA, came second runner-up, and then I participated in my country. So my experience with pageant, although it has been intense because it has been throughout the span of 1 year, has been quite short, and it has been very different. So it's been a process, a learning process, nonetheless, where I've had to learn how to navigate myself through this beauty world and beauty community, because at the end of the day, it's a world within itself. And I've been very fortunate, though, that it has gone so amazingly well in such a short amount of time.
True. And you know what? The reason why I asked that is because I saw a video clip of yours
Hmm.
wearing a beautiful red Carlos Alberto gown in
Hmm.
one of the fashion shows you did probably last month, and I was really stunned. It has a veil, and the way you walk, I was like, oh my gosh, this could even be her
That,
final gown for Miss Universe. You really have strong stage presence. I
thank you.
hope you know that.
I'm working on it. I love that gown, and that's one of the things that I'm saying because I actually red was a color that I really wouldn't try as much, and it's been a color where people have told me, okay, you actually look really good in red. So I'm kind of experimenting in that aspect as well. But yes, I did love that gown. That was a very nice gown, and I think Carlos Alberto made it specifically for me for his fashion show. Hmm.
Will he be designing one of your gowns for Miss Universe?
He will be. He will be. I have an incredible relationship with him. He's been someone that supported me uh, throughout Miss Puerto Rico and also within the States. So I have, a lot of confidence in him. I trust him. He knows me and kind of like my style and what I like. So he's someone that's I'm going to be working with for the international pageant.
Yeah, because he really makes iconic gowns. Like, wow,
Yeah,
hello.
yeah. And he's so he
Zuleika
knows.
and then Stephanie Del Valle. So yeah, so wow,
Yeah.
you really, I mean, for sure, you'll definitely wow us come competition time. So, you said earlier, when I asked you earlier if it gets any harder and easier, the reason why I asked that is because, I just really, sometimes, preparing for a pageant can be quite taxing. And especially now, especially that you just started doing it a year ago, and then you did your state level, and then the national Miss USA, and then this year Miss USA. It could really be tiring. So I wonder, where was the strength coming from your end in pursuing this? What made you so determined to pursue this, like pursue and be loyal to the Miss USA slash Universe brand system?
It was a mixture of a dream that I wanted for a really long time, but that it took me a while to kind of sum up the courage to do it. And I kind of call it like the hidden dream when I was growing up. It's like a hidden dream. Sometimes we have dreams that we don't want to talk about for fear of people laughing at us or telling us that we can't do it or just failure. And participating in Miss Universe was one of that. That was kind of like my hidden dream. I've always wanted to do it, but I didn't think that I fit the prototype of a beauty queen. It wasn't until I kind of like switched that perception uh, because, I kind of said, no, I want to do this. I am running out of time and I don't want to live my life regretting not fighting for a dream that I've had for such a long time because I'm 28 right now. And so the cutoff age is 28. And it wasn't until last year where I was like, no, this is the dream. I can do it. I want this. And so I'm going to go full force and make it a reality. And here I am, thanks to that change in perception that I'm talking to you.
Oh yes, you just know how to, you know, you just know how to make calculated risk, and it paid off. Yeah, right.
I'm
So
sorry.
you
You
just paid, you just took a huge calculated risk, and it paid off.
Yes, and I feel like at the end of the day, that's what life is about. There are so many opportunities that a lot of times we miss because we're afraid of taking risks. But that's the only way that you're going to get reward. The reward doesn't come in the safe zone. You're not going to find challenges, you're not going to find growth when you're sitting in your comfort zone. You're only going to find it once you accept the fact that there are going to be risks in life, but that's where you're going to grow. And that's what I did. Thanks to that is why I'm living one of my dreams. And that's one of the messages that I want to take and speak out into the world. Life is too short. I think that over the last couple of years, we've had that proven, especially with COVID-19 and the pandemic, where we realize that life can change in a blink of an eye. And we shouldn't be a bystander in our own life. We need to take control. We need to fight for what we want, recognize that we really do have everything within us to make our dreams a reality. It's not going to be easy because life is not a fairy tale. But once you take that step, it will be worthwhile.
True, true. And I love that you have been a go-getter in terms of achieving your dream. But I wonder, I'm curious to ask, pardon me for asking this. So you said that you joined Miss USA and the state and its state level like a year ago. Why did it take you so long to join a pageant like it, considering that there is a age limit?
Well, because of that reason, I didn't really think that that I could do it, to be honest.
Why?
I I was always the very shy, very nerdy girl. I went through a stage in my life where I also was bullied, tall, thin, lanky, and it kind of took me a while to tap into my potential or to realize my potential. So I went through a long period of time where I was like, okay, I'm just going to focus in work, I'm going to focus in school, and I'm going to put that dream on the side, on the back burner. So that's why it took me so long. I was also afraid of failing, to be honest. I was afraid of not accomplishing it, but I realized that if I didn't try, I was already a failure. I was already failing. And it wasn't until I kind of decided to take that step that I was able to make that switch.
I'm glad that you were able to make it. Yeah. And now living your dream to become a Miss Universe.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad that you have this. We're talking about you nurturing this dream of becoming Miss Universe, but then you also have an equally powerful background as you graduated with a degree in aerospace engineering, and you're now working, I assume, I just read, as a social rehabilitator.
Well, I'm
Or
actually flipped. I graduated as a biopsychosocial rehabilitator. I worked with that in the mental health population for about 6 years. Then I started and working on my degree for engineering, aerospace, and it's been a whirlwind because I've been able to combine things that I'm very passionate with. I give thanks to this platform really because of that. So I've been able to use what I've learned throughout the mental health, which is the empathy, which is the connection with humans, with us, and what I've learned through engineering. And that is kind of like the discipline, the analytical part of me that I've been able to implement within competition. So I've combined both and I've been able to make it work in my favor. So I'm really excited for that.
it's hard for me to imagine you in a uniform or in a in a uniform, in a lab gown, doing research work, analytical work. I just can't imagine it. So I wonder, how
It's
did
a
you
sight for sore eyes. Trust me. I look very nerdy if you were to see me in a lab gown.
so,
But I love it.
so I wonder, how would you describe your pageant self
My
and your
pattern
STEM
self,
self and how do they blend together beautifully as you do this, as you do these two side by
yeah.
side together?
Well, my pageant self is ever evolving, I think. It's one where I have gone through different stages being in this pageant world and have grown, not only as a contestant, not only as a beauty queen, but quite frankly, as a woman. I've learned so many things about myself and so many things about the world around me as well. So I would say that I have become ever evolving, ever growing, and I'm very fortunate and proud of that. While my STEM part of me is very analytical and very observant. And that has allowed me to see the world also in a very particular and different way. I think that when you sit back and you kind of step outside of the box to look at the world and to observe, you can learn so much about it. And I'm very fortunate to, like I said, to have those both different perspectives because they've made me the person that I am today.
How did you get to develop your interest for science to begin with? Is it something, did it begin as a fascination for you when you were a kid?
Yes, yes. I have always been very curious, a very curious girl. I loved science growing up. It was my favorite subject. And I particularly remember that I loved space. I would come home, do everything that I needed to do, And then when nightfall came, I would actually sometimes go outside and just spend a couple of minutes looking up at the stars. And I would even talk to the moon sometimes. Um, and for me, like looking up at space was just so magical. There's something about the concept of space, the fact that we're kind of like a rock floating in nothingness, and this nothingness is ever expanding. When you really have a grasp of what the universe is, it's mind blowing. It's magic, really. I think that's where the magic really is. And so I've always been fascinated with that. But I also remember that there was a show that I loved growing up, and it was Star Trek. And in Star
Yes.
Trek, there was a female character, and this was the original series. She was actually the first female lead character within a show in the 1960s, 1966, when the show came out. And for me, that was like a representation. Like I saw her, and I would be like, she's amazing. She's, you know, giving the men a run for their money. She's like
Yes.
showing who's boss. And I wanted to do that. That was something that inspired me to want to pursue also the engineering field.
I can I can relate with you because when I was also a kid, I'm also fascinated with our
Mhm.
solar system. I remember, I would memorize our planets' names and even look at the maps. And even from time to time, there would be lunar eclipse where we can really see the moon just as long as we have an X-ray, so we can view it at a particular time of the day. But that's about it. That's how my fascination was. But when it comes to memorizing
Yeah,
the names, the reason why the moon, the stars exist, I find it like hard
it is
to
complicated.
fathom.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's because it's so complicated, especially because you have a background in physics. Especially when I reached my senior year and and started taking up physics, I just really couldn't understand why we have to compute or we have to be technical about a certain number of force or distance of a particular thing in relation to the speed and the volume or the velocity of a particular thing. So but I
But
love
let me
math.
tell you,
Yes.
I have cried myself to sleep sometimes taking those physics tests because I had to take all of the like math classes and all of the physics classes in college. So it is not easy, but it is kind of rewarding. But I can relate to you feeling like, okay, why did I put myself here? Like, what has my life become? Um, but it is fun. I find it very fun and fascinating. I love challenges for sure.
you know, I love math, but I never liked science at all. There was a particular quarter in my sophomore year where I flunked my biology class because I just wanted too icky to dissect a frog or even memorize all these plant names in their scientific names. So it was like so until I reached physics, I really never got the hang or appreciate why we have to compute the distance for. So it's analytical, which I feel I'm not.
Yeah.
So it requires critical thinking, and sometimes I have this tendency to become impatient if I couldn't solve it, and you have to rely on all these certain clues and all the problem solving. So when I meet people like you who really love science, then I automatically assume, oh my God, she's intelligent, she's smart, she's brilliant, she's a problem solver first and foremost.
No, it's it's not like I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm an Einstein, but I've had my fair share of moments where I was like, okay, this isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. But it is rewarding. It's a challenge. I love challenging myself, especially when it
Yes.
comes to like the intellectual part. I'm someone who loves to learn. I love to like kind of force myself to discover new topics and learn about new topics. So I had to put myself through all of that pain in order to succeed at the long run. But I remember physics was actually one of the topics or the subjects where I had the most difficulty in the beginning because you have to apply there's the math part, but then you have to apply real world problems and use math. And that's when I
Yes. Yes.
learned that you can really use math to solve pretty much anything. Like math and physics are really the language of the universe.
True. I really love you're a fascination about it because it really, it really makes you glow. You're so happy talking about it. So for those people like me who are not interested in science and finds it very boring, how can you encourage everyone that science is cool?
Yeah, it's not about, I feel like people have sort of this misconception that that science has to be about learning like quantum mechanics or all of these things. But the reality is that it's just about kind of knowing or understanding a little bit about how the world works. You don't really even need to dive in to math or differential equations, but understanding a little bit about our solar system or understanding, rain, understanding plants, just taking these things that make our world so amazing and having a little bit of knowledge about them will really show you or make you feel
Yes.
so much more appreciation for it because you're understanding how it works. And when you understand how something works, that's when you kind of like click. And then you're like, wow, that's amazing. Because the world is full of magic. And a lot of times I feel like the magic really is science.
True. And it's so unfortunate that the magic that you are saying are only being enjoyed and experienced by men, as not a lot of women are into STEM. I mean, I just read a research paper that, a lot of young females in college would express their interest uh, in STEM, but only a few of them, like probably let's say 74% would express their interest in applying for STEM, but only even or only a quarter of it, 18% or more than 20% would actually end up pursuing it. So why do you think, there's less women
I think
pursuing
that
them?
we're still not targeting women as a society. We're still feeling or promoting STEM, but only for the male population. And I particularly remember that because when I was growing up, if there were, or when I was in school, if there was a like a science fair or like teachers that would come in to talk about certain science topics or subjects, they would mainly go to like the boys or the males in the
Yes.
would talk to them. So I think that's one of the biggest issue is that we're not giving that push to the females, letting them know, hey, this is a subject that you can do as well. This is a subject that if you're passionate and motivated for, you can excel just as any man can. You just have to believe in yourself, work for it, and go for it. So I think that's where kind of like that push and that motivation is needed.
Yeah. Yeah, true. So, do you think, having what you said, do you think, if there were more people, there were more females in STEM industries, do you think we could have we could have solved the pandemic at a faster rate? Just thinking,
I
knowing how women operate or work.
I'm going to say yes, but that's because I might be biased. I like to think that women are the superheroes of the world. Um, no, but I think that no matter what subject, no matter what profession, whenever you have diversity, that's when really you're going to grow or you're going
Yeah.
to see it excel. Because I think diversity brings so many different perspectives, and that's what you really need, no matter what subject you're talking about. Perspective is what changes the world. It's what brings you different ideas, different methods, different procedures or ways to solve certain things. So yes, if there were more women, I wouldn't say that we would have solved it, but in any situation, there would always be a little bit different perspectives that might help.
The reason why I asked that question is because, our conversation right now, I'm being reminded of the Hollywood movie that I watched a few years ago. It's called Hidden Figures, and it stars Sarah G. Johnson. And I don't know if you've watched it, and I really enjoyed it. How
Yeah.
these girls, the movie was all about the destructive consequences of racial segregation, and how these girls, these three African women, proved to be the problem solvers in helping their country, the United States, beat Russians in the space race. So, you
And
know,
yes, and I love that in that movie you have like a room full of men, but you have this one
yes,
women, this one woman who's like, killing them all basically. But
Until
that's
they
an
were
amazing.
finally allowed to go inside the room to attend the meetings, because before, not women in all types or races are not allowed, were not allowed to even attend the meeting
Mhm.
involving these people from NASA, right?
Exactly.
So
Yes.
as I relate it to you, you're being the second woman of color to win the Miss Universe title, and how you have worked so hard for this after experiencing a lot of roadblocks. I feel like, wow, your victory will really be sweeter once you finally win Miss Universe. As I analyze it, as I analyze and I connect it with how you are doing it in relation to the movie. Like, I think
Yeah.
and the way the movie presented itself, that it's fun, fun to be fearless, it's fun to be empowered. Like, I see them in you. I don't know. I just
I
remembered
love that.
suddenly.
Thank you.
I just remembered them all of a sudden while we were talking about science and space right now.
Yes.
And and I also remember one thing as we talk about women empowerment in science. Here in the Philippines, there was this particular criticism that someone said. I don't know if he's a public figure of or just a simple commenter on social media, and commented that from one powerhouse to another, we both love pageants. Um, he made a comment about women. If only more women would join STEM industries instead of beauty pageants, then they would have been more productive members of the society. So if you hear something like that, how do you feel about it? About that criticism that negates beauty pageants
Hmm.
to
Well,
something superficial?
what are the chances of, if I wasn't a beauty queen, of me talking to you being in the Philippines and of me using my voice to bring a message? The chances would have probably been slim. And that's what pageantry is. It is an enormous platform, an international platform that allows women to utilize their voice and to speak about causes that they care about. So, I, just being a scientist, will probably not have had the chance to speak with you in the Philippines and talk about an important cause. But me now, being a beauty queen, have that opportunity, have the opportunity to talk to you being across
Yeah.
the globe. And that's what pageantry is. Pageantry is the platform that you can really use to send whatever message you want to send. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to participate in it, because I really believed in it. Not only believed in the platform, but believed in the power of women and doing whatever it is that they wanted to do. So, no, I don't think that women that are participating in pageant are any less than any other profession. It's just a different profession, and one where you can utilize the platform for whatever cause that you want.
Because probably that particular person who made that comment is only looking it from how everything is at
Yeah.
the is everything is when watching the whole finals night, but without actually doing research of what these girls actually do, behind the
Yeah,
scenes, or for the whole year long, for the whole
of
year
course.
of her,
And
right?
the outreach that beauty queens or queens have is enormous. It is more so than I ever thought possible, even after I participated in it. And it wasn't only until I entered this community, or this world really, that I realized how important beauty queens really are. And that's what it is about. It's about not only inspiring others, it's about growing as a person, and it's about using your voice for whatever cause you feel is important and is needed within today's society.
That's true. I wonder, speaking of inspiration, who do you look up to? Which personality in science do you admire the most?
Ooh, I have a couple, but I always say one of my favorite ones is actually Albert Einstein. And
Ooh.
yes, and okay, so I love him because he his story is quite interesting. Growing up, he wasn't the best in school. He was actually going to drop from college or from
Yeah.
school because he wasn't doing well, and his teachers didn't believe in him. But he even had to take a lot of odd jobs to make ends meet. And what I love about him is kind of like that story of inspiration where even when society didn't believe him or didn't see his potential, he kind of saw it. And now he's one of the most known scientists. And he's also one of the most eccentric scientists that we have. And that just kind of shows that you never really have to fit the mold that society puts on you. You can always make your own mold and be unique in your own way and still succeed like any other. So I love him. Albert Einstein is one of my scientist inspirations.
Yeah. Kind of marching to the beat of your own drum.
Yes, I love one. I don't know if you've seen it, but he has a kind of like a really famous picture where he's sticking out his tongue, like he's
Yeah.
has his hair all messy. And what I love about that is that if you don't know Albert Einstein, like if you've never heard of him before, and you look at that picture, you would have never thought that he was the smartest man from his generation, or one of the smartest men ever. But that just goes to show that sometimes appearances aren't what they seem, and you don't have to kind of look like what society wants you to look in order to either be happy or to make a change.
True, true. And how are you relating that to how you are forging your candidacy in Miss Universe now that a lot of changes are happening in the landscape of Miss Universe?
Well, I love that. I feel like whenever there is changes, it's always room for growth. And I'm someone that has learned throughout life the importance of growth, the importance of growing in different aspects of your life. So I'm very fortunate to have that, to be in this kind of like in this position where I feel like Miss Universe is expanding, is growing, and
Yeah.
is allowing more opportunities. So I feel very fortunate.
Yeah, because there's a new owner now. They're introducing new changes. Uh, Transgenders are now being allowed to join. So when you think about it, do you think, do you think this is a good development of how pageant is evolving compared to how it was before?
I think so. I think so. And I mean, it wasn't until technically a couple of years ago, I think it was maybe the 1970s, that women looking like me, Black women, were able to compete
Yes,
in pageants, were able to compete in Miss Universe. So yes, I feel like it is a representation of how times are changing, but more so as, how we as a society are opening up our eyes to the fact that, we should all be respected, we should all be treated equally, we should all
yes,
be given the same opportunities. And so I love the way that the pageant is going. Granted, I feel like whenever there is change like this, there's always going to be some, people are going to not be so receptive to it, and that's normal.
yes.
But I do love seeing change, and I do like to see it like this because I feel like it's going in the positive direction.
True, true. So I wonder, with your scientist background, being an innovator, being collaborative, I wonder if they were to ask your opinion, if the Miss Universe organization were to ask your suggestion how to improve things to make it a more powerful brand, what would you suggest them and why?
Hmm. Well, I feel like they are doing fairly well. I would really just love to see the age being increased. That's the only thing. Because I feel like, I mean, I'm 28. That means that if I were to right now decide that I wanted to participate in Miss Universe, I would be unable to. Um, and so I know many women who would love that opportunity, but perhaps are no longer within that age gap or that limit. So that's the only thing that I would love to see because I don't think beauty stops once you turn 28. Beauty
I
or
think
health.
I think the reason why, not that I'm siding with Miss Universe, but I'm also trying to understand why, it hasn't increased its age limit. It's probably because of a woman's value. I don't know if I'm sounding too primitive with my assumption, but they equate that the world thinks or equates a woman's value with her youth,
Yes,
with
that's
with
unfortunate.
her prime. And if women are allowed to compete at the age of 32, they're supposed to have different priorities in life. Like they're on their family way, they're about to start raising their own kids. So in a way, the woman kind of gets conflicted with her responsibilities. Like how will you be able? How will like a certain woman juggle the responsibilities of being a Miss Universe title holder in relation to her other goals in life, like raising her own family or even adopting other jobs. So I think that's the reason why they're only capping it off until 28.
Yeah,
What do you
I
think?
I can see why that might be kind of the theme. But why again are we as a society wanting to limit people or determine whether they're capable or not? I've met women who are well past their 30s, well past their 32 years of age, who are, working, who are mothers, who are wives,
Yes.
and are still able to juggle all that. Because I think one of the things, us as women, the quality that I feel like we possess is the fact that we are not only multifaceted, but we're multitaskers. We can do so many things at once. So I don't think that at 32, you're only able to do only one thing. And plus, we have multiple professions like women who are in the military, who
Yes.
are deployed, that have to leave their family behind or that have to, leave whatever it is that they're doing for months on end. They're still considered capable no matter what age. So I don't think age should be a factor or an
Yeah.
indication of value.
True. And it's about time that, that we should go past our myopic views of how we view women in general. Because it seems like they're at the short end of the stick. Because when it
Yeah.
comes to men, there there's no such thing as age limit. I feel like the older men gets compared to a wine, the better for them. They get more refined, they're more mature. But when it comes to women, there seems to be a double standard that, when they are older, okay, their value is already decreasing. How a car gets to depreciate the moment it steps out of the car dealer shop. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Oh, I mean, look at JLo. She's in her 50s and she's rocking it.
yeah,
So
yeah. Exactly. So, we've been talking about age limit. Is it something that is it something that has been said about you that's why you're very passionate about, you're very vocal about Miss Universe hopefully removing the age limit?
if there's something uh, that has been said about me,
Yes.
well,
Yes.
I remember like competing in Puerto Rico. There were comments where people thought that I was too old to compete. Uh,
Yes.
and I was still 27 then. So comments like that, I don't think, that's why I'm a strong supporter in the age being increased, because I definitely don't believe that age should be a limiting factor for you to not only accomplish your dreams, but to do a job well done. If anything, age is a representation or an indication of experience and maturity, which is quite frankly
Wisdom.
needed to be a beauty queen.
Well, you know what? All our viewers who are watching us right now have been telling us how you have been giving substantive answers to all the questions that I've been asking you. So I wonder, are you pressured to deliver your country's sixth Miss Universe crown?
I I mean, yes, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I said no, Puerto Rico hasn't had a crown in Miss Universe in quite some time. The last one was Zuleika. And we have from, that moment that we crowned Zuleika up till now, we've given everything preparing our queens. So I know what I represented. I know what all of the beauty queens before me have represented. And it has been kind of like this illusion, this, this hope to have another
Yes.
universal crown. So
Yes.
yes, there is that pressure because I not only feel very blessed and fortunate, but I feel very proud and of representing Puerto Rico. And as so, I want Puerto Rico to feel very proud of the job that I'm doing. And bringing that sixth crown to Puerto Rico
Yeah.
would be a dream come true because I feel like Puerto Rico deserves it. And I hope that, I hope it comes soon. I really do.
And I think it's very possible, knowing and seeing a lot of leaderboards, fan leaderboards putting you in the top spot, or if not, at the very least in the top five. So that really shows how strong you are as a competitor. Now, given the demands, the rigors, the pressure of what it's like to be preparing for the pageant, I wonder how do you demand kindness for yourself amidst while also wanting to give all your best or showcasing excellence from what you do. You know what I mean? How do you stay kind to yourself while demanding excellence from yourself at the same time in relation to your candidacy in Miss Universe?
I was actually when I started out, I was kind of very harsh with myself, very critical. Like to, I wanted to get things right so quickly, and I realized that it takes time. So I've been a lot nicer with myself by allowing me to enjoy the process and not be so critical or harsh because I already get critiques from the world, so why should I start critiquing myself also? Um, I have realized and I'm well aware of the job that I'm doing, of the time that I'm putting in and the effort, and I'm recognizing that, I'm putting my all into this because I really want to do well. So that's how I am being nice to myself by allowing me to recognize that I'm doing all I can do, that I'm giving all I can, and that I feel like I'm doing a good job because I've seen the growth that I've had as a person. And so whenever you're growing as a person, that means that something is working. Um, so I'm allowing myself to enjoy the process. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This is a dream come true. There is not a day that I don't thank God for the opportunity that He has given me. And there isn't a day that I also don't thank the people of Puerto Rico for giving me the opportunity to represent them in the biggest stage in beauty. So it's just, enjoy the ride.
What are you looking forward the most in Miss Universe in New Orleans very, very soon?
It would be like meeting the girls. I think meeting the girls is always fun because you do make friends. Also, like the competition aspect of it, like being on stage, feeling those nerves again. So I'm looking forward to that. And plus, New Orleans is a city full of culture. It has incredible music and food. I remember going there about 11 years ago, so coming back and participating, like, experiencing the culture again will be fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, I can't wait for you to experience that. I've been hearing a lot of good things about NOLA, how it could be fun. And I feel like it has the same vibe of what Puerto Rico is as a country itself. It's fun, festive, full of culture. Yeah. So before, I'm wrapping up this question. I'm enjoying it. As much as I, want to talk to you longer, I have to end this in a little while. So, you know, we're now proceeding to the next portion of my interview where it's just gonna be a fun game just to test how you love science and if you still remember everything you've learned
Oh
in
my God,
school.
you're putting me on the spot.
No, just this is just like this is just like a fun science type of
Okay.
Q and
See what
A.
I remember.
Okay, do you still remember your math and science classes in high school?
In high school, it's been like, I
Yeah,
don't know. But
yeah.
bring it. Let's see. Let's see.
What does Pi Day celebrate?
Pi Day celebrates?
Yeah.
Is it, so we're talking about math. So it celebrates
Yeah.
the 3.14, the circumference.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all right.
So how much of it can you still recite?
How much of the pi?
Yeah, because it's long, right? The
Yes, it's like
figures
3.14, oh, 8.
3.14152926.
Yes. Mm,
I love math. I love math, but but I never got to love science for some weird reason. Okay, next question.
okay.
Okay, who is this woman from the science field who pioneered research on radioactivity, and she was the first woman to win the Nobel Prize award?
Marie Curie?
Yes. Yeah.
She died from radioactivity, and I believe her uh, was it sarcophagus? Not sarcophagus. That's Egyptian. Her tomb is still has to be covered because it's still radioactive to this day.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So speaking of Nobel Prize, now this is a question that just popped out of my head. Which would you prefer, to win Miss Universe or to be the first woman from Puerto Rico to win a Peace Prize award?
I can't have both.
Safe answer.
Why not? We're talking about women being able to do and accomplish whatever they set their mind to. So I'm going to go with both.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Okay, last few. What animal does not have a brain? A, cockroach, B, starfish, or C, shrimp, or D, fruit fly?
Cockroach?
No.
No. Which one is it?
Starfish.
Starfish. Okay, you
Yeah.
got me that one.
Last one.
Okay.
Who is this beautiful engineer from Puerto Rico who loves STEM and who is touted to be one of the front runners
Her
of
name
Miss Universe?
is Ashley Carino.
Yay!
Do you know what Carino stands for?
Love, love, cariño,
Yeah, it's a term of endearment
endearment.
here in Puerto
Yeah.
Rico. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Ashley and Carino, there you go, guys. So, thank you so much for allowing me to get to know you on a deeper level, considering you've never met me. A lot of all of us here in the Philippines are really looking you as a strong contender for the title of Miss Universe. And we will be so happy to see you, you know, do your thing there because, to be honest, you really could be the next Miss Universe. So as my last few questions, here it goes. The classic question: why should you be the next Miss Universe?
You know, I believe in inspiration. I believe in inspiring others. I had so many Miss Universe that inspired me growing up, and I know what it's like to feel that you can't. I know what it's like to feel that you might not be good enough. But I also know what it's like to become determined and recognize that you actually do have everything it takes to accomplish whatever you want and whatever you set your mind to. And so that's one of the messages that I feel like the world, especially our youth, really needs to hear today. That sometimes it's okay to not be okay, as long as you snap out of it and recognize that whatever you need to accomplish whatever goal you want, you have inside. And so I want to be that representation. I want them to see me as an inspiration so that they can also accomplish their dream the way that I'm doing today.
For sure, a lot of young girls are watching this and say, "I want to be like her. I want to take up STEM too, and be a mad scientist, and at the same time wear heels and have my own crown at the same time." Yeah, that's how empowered people are seeing you. And thank you so much. We can't wait for the whole universe to witness how empowered you are as a woman. So
Thank you.
before we leave, can I make one last request? Can I ask you a favor? Can you shout out your name? Give a little intro of yourself in Miss Universe, like Ashley Ann Carino, 28. Puerto Rico.
I can do that. I can do that. Okay, let's see. I feel like I've been talking forever. Okay. Ashley Ann Carino, 28, Puerto Rico. Yeah,
You don't know how it means a lot to us that you just did that, because it's like a preview of what you can offer to Miss Universe very, very soon. So on that note, Ashley, thank you so much for allowing me to interview. It has been such a blast getting to know you on a deeper level. And I really couldn't wait to meet you in person. I'm going there. It's my first Miss Universe coverage after the pandemic. Yeah, I'm coming. Yeah, I'm coming. I'm traveling 36 hours just to get to know you, have a photo with you. So don't hide from me, even if the security guards are very strict in
okay?
premises.
Wherever you are, you let me know and I will be there. If you're traveling 36 hours, if you were even traveling 1 hour, I would be there. Don't worry.
Yeah. That's how strong your batch is right now, that I really want to go there and meet you in person. And enough of this, virtual interviews. I really want to interview you in person. I just
That's
hope.
going to happen.
Yeah, so thank you so much to Stefania Torres, Clark Ivor of Miss Universe Puerto Rico organization, and everyone there. Thank you so much for allowing this interview to be possible. Thank you for connecting me to Ashley. And guys, you guys just might have your 6th Miss Universe title holder. Wow. No words to say. No words to say. But thank you.
No, and Adam, thank you. Thank you for the time, for allowing me to utilize your platform, right, to deliver the message, and not only that, but to get people to, get to know me. It means a lot to me, and you will definitely have your interview in person. I guarantee it. So I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Promise, win or lose, don't hide from me.
No, never. I promise. Okay, there's 439 people, so there are 439 witnesses that we will have that interview in person.
All right, so win or lose, yeah, you're one of the most captivating candidates of this year's edition, and I really cannot wait for all the good things that will happen to you during the pageant or even after. Wow, you will be unstoppable. You can, whatever you set your sights into, you will be able to achieve it. God bless you. Good night over there in Puerto Rico, and I can't wait to see you. More 30 days from now. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Philippines.
All right. God bless you. Virtual hugs and kisses all the way from my office here in Manila.
Bye.
Bye.